Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Hey, welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Jessa Jeremiah.
And I'm Justin Riley, and here we are on location at Dream House Dream Kitchens over on Verona Road.
Yes.
What a great showroom this is.
In an outstanding showroom that is decorated beautifully and giving some ideas. I'm cooking up some things in my head.
Cooking
that
up
I
some
want.
things in your, I
Yeah.
can see the steam. I can see
The
steam.
wheels are turning,
The wheels are
right?
turning.
It's sad that you can see it.
Yeah. Well, if you're interested in doing any sort of decoration, we've got a great guest coming up. Our first segment today, Rose Cottage, a floral shop, is going to be over on Atwood Avenue, I believe.
Yep, they sure are.
They're going to be joining us and talking about how, they're a family business. They've been in operation for over 40 years.
Yes.
Lots of experience there. They're going to give us some great tips on, what good floral arrangements look like.
Yeah,
and things like
Rami's
that.
been doing this a long time. She is the expert. We're going to chat with her, and we're going to learn about Montessori schooling, Greenway Crossing Montessori School, where my little youngster is going to be going. They're going to be on today talking about the Montessori method, and I'm very excited to chat with them because they do things in a totally different way. It's a whole new approach.
It really is, and a lot of people have heard that term Montessori, but I'm guessing that a lot of our viewers probably don't know fully what that looks like. So we're going to find out today, and that'll be pretty cool.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Yeah, and later on in the program, we'll be having an interview with Kevin Schmidt, the owner of Dream House Dream Kitchens, and he's a cool guy, and he has a lot of knowledge, a lot of background knowledge, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about, when is a good time to remodel your home,
Yes.
and when it might be a better idea to just find a new home altogether.
Absolutely. They have a fabulous team and a fantastic showroom. I encourage you to come check it
yeah.
out because this is absolutely spectacular. So I look forward to learning more from them and from our other great guests. It's all coming up next on Wisconsin Family, so stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are filming here at Dream Kitchens, and I'm very excited to chat with the owners and folks later here.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We just had some coffee made from their automatic coffee maker earlier, and it's so cool. It cleans
Fabulous.
itself, it grinds the beans for you. It's awesome.
Absolutely, and they do much more than kitchens, so we'll find
Yes.
out more about that in a little while. Our guests right now, our first guests, are here to talk about floral. They've been in the floral industry a long time combined. We've been doing this for many years. We have Romney and John who are joining us from Rose Cottage Floral over on Atwood, and we're so pleased to have you. Welcome.
Welcome,
Well,
guys.
thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to chat about with you, so we're going to kind of jump right into it.
Okay.
But let's start with why you chose to open a flower shop. How did you get into this industry?
Well, when I was 6 years old, my dad had flower shops in all the Kopp's department stores in Madison, and I wanted to be wherever my dad was, so I was a florist.
There you go.
Back in the day, I'd make hundreds of corsages for Mother's Day or Easter, and we just always stayed in it, and I went to college and didn't really like that, so then I went to floral design school. And
That sounds much more
yeah,
fun.
it is much more fun. And then a friend of mine who had the Rose Cottage for 20-some years kept saying she wanted out, and John was helping her with maintenance and some other things, and he said, hey, maybe we should consider it. So here we are.
So here you are, right up your alley. You've been doing this for many years,
Right.
really kind of brought in as a family business from years and years
Right.
ago. That's
So you're the
wonderful.
second owners of the Rose Cottage.
Yes.
That's very cool. And as we are all aware, there's a lot of florists and floral shops out there. What sort of unique or special skills do you guys bring to the table with your business?
I think knowledge, having done it for 40-some years and also having imported flowers from all over the world, I'm able to get things at a good price and share that. And our overhead is so low, we don't have a lot of markup, so we can do things more affordably than some of the other flower shops can.
Sure.
And that's, I think, a really important thing for viewers. Having that affordability with somebody with your experience is a very nice thing for folks to know. And you mentioned, we kind of talked about this being a family business and, kind of coming from your roots as a youngster. Do you guys really stay involved? Does this family get involved? How does that work?
Oh yeah, we have the kids in there all the time, whether they're unpacking boxes of vases or just hauling stuff up and down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
And Romney's older daughter, she'll help out delivering whenever we get behind.
Your son delivers?
My son delivers on the holidays, so my
this is
uncle. So we pretty
truly-
much have all aspects of our family involved.
You've got the whole family taking care of it. And that's so great because they all are really bought in because it's you and it's your family. So having a family business like that just gives it an extra special, care and touch, making sure that things are done.
And I think you have to teach young people a work ethic and that things don't fall out of the sky. And if they see how hard we're working and how hard it is to maybe come up with that $300 for the Xbox or something and that they have to participate, I think it's a win for everybody.
Absolutely. What a great learning experience for them.
They can think of those commodities in terms of work hours versus just
There you
dollar
go.
value.
That's right.
Oh, I do.
How many hours do I need to work? That's right. You got
So,
it.
I mean, 40 some years, how many, 40 years?
Well, since I was 6, so that's
We won't
49
make-
we won't make this
That's
just a lot of
49
years.
years. It's
A lot of
49
years.
years.
Okay. But so I imagine that you've seen a lot of changes in this industry. Can you talk to us about some of those changes?
Years ago, everything came out of Colorado and California. It came on rail. Now everything comes out of South America. It gets flown into Miami and trucked up here.
Wow.
The California growers, unfortunately, can't compete as well. What they do, they're very good at. They're specialized. They do a lot of hydroponic growing, which they didn't do years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. And hydroponic, that's like where it's kind of in like a drum that just has like the water
Yep.
and kind of draws
Just
the roots
water,
down.
no
Oh,
soil.
you know your stuff pretty good, Justin.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
He's
Puff up
hired,
my
right?
chest.
So you have been in this industry a long time, and I'm sure there's a lot to do. You spend a lot of time at Rose Cottage and making sure that your customers are taken care of. What do you like to do outside of Rose Cottage? Do you have anything else that you do other than floral? I'm sure you do.
We're rarely home. We are busy people. I myself, with her son and my dad, we do a lot of hunting and fishing. And then as a family, we go to the lake usually at least once a week and do some tubing and water skiing. And
So you get some relaxed time.
Oh,
in. You
yeah.
make sure and fit it all in.
We try not to relax. We're going to die from living.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like that.
You can sleep when you're dead, right?
That's right.
That
I
old
say
saying.
that all the time.
That's great. And let's talk a little bit about future forward thinking. Where do you guys see yourselves in 5 or 10 years?
I see us in less than a year in a new location because we've already, in 6 months, we've grown enough to where our current location cannot handle the capacity we're doing basically on a daily basis almost.
That's a good problem to
Wow.
have,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
when you're busy like that, obviously that speaks volumes to your business and the kind of service that you provide and the results that the actual product, the finished product that you're delivering to folks. So I think that's wonderful. Congratulations on lots of success
Well,
and
thank you.
many years in the business, and we certainly look forward to seeing what Rose Cottage has to offer in the
Absolutely.
future. Make sure you find these guys over on Atwood Avenue, Romney and John, owners of Rose Cottage. And make sure you stay tuned because after the break, we are going to be finding out more about Montessori schools with Greenway Crossing Montessori right here at Dream Kitchens on Verona Road. Stay tuned for more Wisconsin Family.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're here on location at Dream House Dream Kitchens over on Verona Road in Madison, and this
What a
is
treat.
It is a treat to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My
Beautiful
mouth is
space.
watering. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a fully functioning kitchen here, which
I know.
is so cool.
I think several possibly.
Yeah,
This
probably
is
several.
outstanding.
So we'll talk with them in a little bit. But first, we're going to be joined by Cynthia Walker from Greenway Crossing Montessori School. Cynthia, welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
We're
You know-
glad to have you.
You know, I've heard a lot about Montessori schools, and I've learned a little bit about what they do. But can you talk to viewers a little bit about what exactly a Montessori classroom looks like?
Yes, please.
Well, a Montessori classroom is divided up in areas. We have a sensorial area, a language area, a math area, history area, geography area, science area, and my favorite, the practical life area.
Okay.
And I also like language.
Okay.
One misconception about Montessori is that people think we let the kids, it's because it's free choice, that we let the kids just pick, do
whatever they
whatever.
need to.
Yes.
No structure.
Right.
Right,
Right.
but that's not true.
Right.
The children do have free choice.
Right.
What the difference is the way the room's set up. We have a particular way we set a room up where it kind of guides them to where they need to go. And the teachers are constantly working with the children, and they keep records so they know if Johnny needs to work on his sounds, or if Madeline needs to work a little bit in practical life because she's having a hard time concentrating. The teachers, my wonderful teachers, they work individually with children or in very small groups. We give the children presentations.
Okay.
And then through that presentation, they learn the basics, and then they hand it over to the child. And they will ask, if the child can ask any question they want, or come and get the teacher, or wherever, of the activity they're doing. For instance, rolling out the alphabet and do initial sounds. The teacher will work with them with the initial sounds with pictures.
Interesting. And that's kind of interesting too, because that's a different way of learning the alphabet rather than A, B, C. Learning those sounds really helps them phonetically get that word together.
That's what it's all about. We do not teach the children the ABC song. What we do is teach them the sounds. Then it's much easier. They can pick up a book and read. And they usually do it about 3.5, 4 years old, and they are just go crazy.
Yeah, it's such
Very
an
cool.
interesting and unique way of learning that I think it's hard for people to grasp, because we're so used to that classroom setup where
The
there's a
direct
teacher in
instruction.
front,
Yeah.
yep, and then there's a row of desks. And Montessori school, you're learning at a pace that is at least equal to those of the public school systems, but it's just
Yes.
a totally different
Right.
way of going about it.
You know, we say the children have free choice. There's a limit within that free choice because they watch where the children are at. We don't want, like, Mike might like to just work in history, but then it's the teacher's job to make language interesting. Like, whoa, I have something to show you today.
And for each individual student, which is very different
Yes.
from a more traditional classroom style where
Yes.
the lesson does not cater to the individual. It is a group setting. So that's one thing that I really
Right.
like
It's
about
very
it.
individualized and very much guided learning, it kind of sounds like.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to talk really quick about the school demographics and kind of what that looks like.
I'm very proud of our demographics because we cover, I think we have just about every nationality you can possibly think of. We're bilingual, so there's 2 languages going on in every classroom, Spanish and English, even in the infant room. And we have just, I mean, it's wonderful. You walk into that room and it's like a little rainbow. And I
That's
love
wonderful. No, that's really nice. And I think that's great for students to grow up in that environment too.
Right, and Maria Montessori believed wholeheartedly that to achieve world peace, we have to get to know each other's customs. So that's kind of what we strive for, not to be afraid of each other, but to join.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've talked a little bit about classroom structure, and I'm going to actually jump ahead a little bit and talk to us a little bit about like why. Obviously, we talked about how this is very different than your traditional public school setting, but what are the benefits? Like, what would make somebody want to choose a Montessori setting?
Personally, the reason I like Montessori is because it's so laid back. The children can just come into the classroom, it's quiet, they can go to practical life, wash clothes, they can go to math and do math, but it has this serenity about it that just, I mean, you walk into those classrooms and it's unbelievable. You can have 25 kids in there and you don't even know.
Absolutely. I can say that firsthand too, because I've been to the school and toured, and my little one's starting their coming up soon. I'm
we're
so
excited. One
Yeah,
day.
yes. But it is interesting because you'll walk by a class of, what you would imagine to be loud kind of youngsters, and they're peacefully working and learning, and it's sort of surprising, but
Right.
it's
The sense of
wonderful.
focus that's there is
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're intrinsically motivated and interested in what
Right.
they're doing. And
Even the 1-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure, you have your moments in every room, but even the 1-year-olds, it's wonderful watching the 1-year-olds get their plates, set their own table. We don't have high chairs or anything like that. That's a no-no in Montessori. Children have free will, and you can't in a high chair. So the children babies sit at tables. You've seen them, and it's just wonderful how capable, if you let them, 1-year-olds are.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's so great.
Amazing
and
stuff.
Fun to chat with you. Thank you so much. We could
Well,
probably
thank
chat
you.
with you all day, but we
Yes.
appreciate your time, Cynthia. We gotta go.
Cynthia Walker from Greenway Crossing Montessori School. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking with Kevin from Dream House by Dream Kitchens. It's Wisconsin Family here on CW57. Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family, and we are so excited to be here at Dream House Dream Kitchens on Verona Road.
We are. This is the segment we've been leading up to.
Absolutely, and for those of you at home, I've now quit the job at the CW and I now work at Dream House Dream Kitchens, so this is my new job.
Big
it's such
mistake.
a cool place. Right. So we're joined now by owner Kevin Schmidt. Kevin, thanks so much for having us here today.
Well, thank you for bringing us on today.
Yeah, so
Very glad to have you.
I just have so many questions that I want to ask you. You know, I've been a homeowner. I'm my second home now, and you know, we always, my wife and I, with our first home, we owned a much older home, and we talked a lot about like things that we wanted to do with remodeling and things like that. And then we got some advice from other folks that said, you know, I don't know if it'd be worth it for you to spend the money to remodel. Talk to us a little bit about whether, you know, it's good to remodel or better just to buy a new home.
Start over.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways to look at it. First and foremost is if you're really happy with your neighborhood and you want to stay.
Yeah.
And that's typically the kids have formed relationships and you have schools and things like that. You may not want to move. The second thing that we really look at is, does the house fit what you want it to be after the remodel?
Sure.
Sometimes there are more kids coming and the house just isn't going to do it.
Right.
And you need to move on.
Right.
Sometimes there's a job transfer. There are a lot of ways that we look at the project and say, hey, how long do you want to be here? If you want to be in the home the next 5 to 10 years, that's great because you can recoup your investment, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Even if you're selling down the road, that remodel is going to help you out big time when it comes to that sale.
And one of the things that I've thought about, and I've, you know, my wife and I had a chance to look at a lot of homes when we were looking to purchase, and you could kind of tell the people who were maybe ill-advised when they did their home remodels or when they put an addition on, because they'd have like, it'd be an old Victorian home, and then they'd have this addition that was kind of like more
Non-matched.
modern,
Right,
and it
right,
totally
right, right.
didn't match.
A mismatch.
So I imagine that's something that you have to kind of give advice on, and that you try to kind of guide people to, you know, what they should be doing if they're going to add an addition, for an example.
Yeah, if they're going to do an addition, I think the first thing is that you want to be thematic with the home.
Right.
That it should look not like an addition.
Right.
It should look like it was always there.
Right.
And we try and do that with the client, and at the same time, you got to handle what the client wants in the remodel.
Sure.
So there is an exterior view that needs to be looked at, and then there's also the interior side as well.
Right.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about when you get into this remodeling process. Do you have kind of a rule of thumb about how much you should be spending?
I think the first thing we do when we drive to the home is we look at the neighborhood and we say, okay, what's the average value of the surrounding neighborhood? What's the value of the house we're looking at? And how much money can you spend on the house before you become the most expensive house on the block?
Right.
Right.
And that's really important, especially if you're thinking that you're going to leave in 5 to 10 years.
Right.
So that's the first thing, it's the drive-in.
That's really smart because you don't want to overinvest and then not be able to recoup some of those costs if you eventually leave.
Right.
Yeah. And it's something to think about, absolutely.
And so it's I'm guessing from what you said, it's not a good idea to be the most expensive house on the block if you can help it.
Well, there are a couple of ways to look at that
Okay.
too. First of all, a lot of the people that we do the remodels for, it's probably their last remodel.
Okay.
They might be looking to retire.
Sure.
And so they're trying to make things good and set up for a retirement. And sometimes you have to look past the money and say, hey, how do I want to spend the next 10 years? How much do I want to enjoy my home? If I'm going to be here, do I want to put in a professional kitchen, or do I want to do a master bath suite?
Right.
And financially, they can afford it. If you look around the neighborhood, it might not make any sense,
Sure.
but it's going to be a great next 10 years.
Sure.
Yeah, it depends on your motivation for doing
Right.
the remodel. If you're doing it specifically for yourself and just that comfort of living, do what you want,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Well,
Put in as
there's a
much
lot
money
of
as
truth
you
to
like.
that. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So, you know, obviously you are a little biased by being part of Dream House Dream Kitchens, but, you know, how does somebody, what are some things that people need to be looking for, or questions they need to be asking when they're searching for a contractor
Yeah.
to do these jobs?
How do you pick? There's so
Yeah.
many people out there.
Right. I think the biggest thing is you need to work with somebody that you're comfortable with. And I think number one is to develop the relationship. No matter how big or how small the project is, it's a lot of money to that client. And you need to
Absolutely.
respect that money.
Yeah.
And so the first thing is you look at it and you say, okay, who is going to do the best with my money? And really the money comes up first because as a designer, I have no idea what you can afford. And so I need to know that so that I don't just shoot a design dart into the air.
Right.
If I'm going to design for you, I need to know what kind of investment we're going to make so that when I show it and present you with the design, it fits the budget.
Yeah, and
Right.
the smart designs for the right budget. And I want to ask a little bit about, we talked about some examples of things that maybe weren't the best design
Right.
ideas in terms of matching the current style of the home. But why do you think some projects are more successful than others? What makes that happen?
There are a lot of wonderful designers in Madison. There are a lot of wonderful remodelers in Madison. Very, very talented people. And what happens is they might not be on the same page. So what we've developed is the store, the remodeling store, where the designs are done and the remodel's done under one roof. And we're seamless from start to finish, and we carry a lot of continuity to the project. And that way the customer really can get a project that they were looking for.
Absolutely, and working with contractors here in-house that you're familiar with, that you've worked with before,
Right.
that's huge when, start to finish.
So talk to us give us a couple of examples about some of the projects that Dream House Dream Kitchens does.
Oh, we've worked on a lot of projects over the years. We have designed convenience stores. We have done work out at the airport.
So it's not just homes then.
We started
Wow.
in kitchens and baths, and I think that we got pulled in every direction.
Sure.
Sure.
So this week we finished up a condominium downtown that we built. We finished a boathouse on the lake. We are all over, and what's really great is we've grown, we've brought in talent from other areas. So we carry 2 or 3 builders on staff to help us with construction design. We carry an architect to help us with all the structural and things like that. So we're in just a ton of different projects,
Yeah.
and it's made this a really great career. We've been able to grow, and now we're up to 3 stores.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that speaks to the kind of work that you're doing and the type of service that you're delivering. And you obviously are passionate about what you do. What do you think is one of your favorite things, or why do you like this so much?
Because every customer has their own personality, and so does every project. So it's made it really interesting to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
That's
really
great.
about working with the people for you. That's an authentic response.
Absolutely. It's been very, very rewarding. And I think that we are trying really hard to fill a niche in the industry where the customer can come in and relax, and they can do all their designing, space planning, they can make all their selections, and then follow us through the remodel with them. So
That's awesome.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for sharing
Yes.
some of those tips with us. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks
And
for-
for having us. It's been lovely.
it's great. It's great to have you here.
Kevin Schmidt from Dream House Dream Kitchens, thank you so much again. And that's all the time we have for Wisconsin Family. Please join us next time. We'll see you soon.
Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day